Sometimes you may not know if you are ready for a promotion. So thank you all so much for joining us. This is going to be a 15-minute because of Labor Day session. We're so excited to have you guys here. But welcome to the Geeks. I'm Javier.
And I'm Karen.
And we are the Geeks, as I just said. This is Level Up Your 9 to 5 on 95. Hello, everyone. I'm Javier.
And I'm Karen.
And together we are the Geeks. We get together every Thursday at 6 o'clock to talk about getting in and getting ahead in government. This is Geeks Assemble. Level up your 9 to 5 on 95. Karen, knowing you're ready for a promotion, that can be easier said than done, right?
Yep.
Sometimes a person could really know it in their bones. They're totally ready for this promotion and not actually be ready. And then others could totally be qualified and ready to go, but they just feel like they need to hold off on promotions and growth potentials and all of that sort of stuff. Have you seen that a lot?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk about 5 strategies to know, or 5 clues to know if you're ready for a promotion.
Right. So the first one is you're doing the job at the next level.
Yeah. So if you're a GS13, you're performing at a GS14 level, and a 14 at a 15, the 15 at the SES, all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, so you definitely know that you're performing well, not just in your current job, but actually performing well at that next level up.
Right. And that's the key. Even though you're doing the work at the next level, are you succeeding at that work?
Right. It's not like you're just doing a higher volume of the work at your current level, but you're actually doing the work above you and also performing that at a higher level as well. Yeah, demonstrating that you can actually really do all of that work. Well, Karen, I'm curious, how do you know that you're actually performing that next level type work?
Well, you should be familiar with what the roles and responsibilities at those levels are.
That's a great
point. Just because you think you're doing the work at the next level because you're comparing yourself to some other grade level, it may not be accurate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can be doing like a lot more activity, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing that higher level work. So yeah, make sure you know what that next level is and then demonstrate that you're actually doing that kind of work.
Right, because you could be like, well, I usually process 20 widgets, but this year I processed, 100 widgets. I should get a promotion, right?
Exactly. But
even though at your level, processing widgets is the responsibility.
That's a very good point. Yeah, you can process widgets all day long, which is great. But can you do the other level of work? And have you demonstrated that? Absolutely. That's how you can know that you may be ready for a promotion. Okay, well, what's the second strategy?
The next one is kind of like my jeans during quarantine.
Uh-oh.
You've outgrown your current role.
You've outgrown your jeans. Yes, no, you totally have not. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you've outgrown your current responsibilities. So basically, if you're finding yourself bored, if you know for sure you can totally do the tasks, you're able to just, crush everything. What would usually take you an 8-hour day or others an 8-hour day, you're able to just accomplish them pretty quickly. Yeah, that's definitely a good indicator that you've done everything at that level, and now you're ready for more. You're ready to ascend to do other types of work.
That kind of reminds me when I was in high school. And I think it was my senior year.
When you only had like 2 classes your whole senior year?
Right, because I had already received all of my credits and I really didn't have too many more classes to go, but I still had to go to school. So I would get home early and I would sit there and watch Arthur, of all things. Yes, yeah. I was in high school watching Arthur.
Well, Arthur's awesome.
Right, the fist where he's
exactly.
all angry. Which we actually rewatched. I was like, oh my gosh, they did play that.
They really did. Yeah, that happened. Yeah. Anger is an emotion that all of us have to deal with sometimes.
Right. So point is, I outgrew high school.
Yeah, everyone. So Karen was set to graduate a year early. Only 3 years is what she needed to graduate from high school. But she decided to stay that extra year just because she's awesome. All right, so that's the second strategy or second clue. If you know that you've outgrown the work at that level, that might be an indication that you're ready for the next promotion. So what's the third clue?
The next one is you could do your boss's work.
Yeah, think about that. So this is a
Be
big
careful
clue.
with this one too.
Right. How do you know for sure what your boss's work is? So yeah, clue number 3, you can do your boss's work.
Which this could be evident, let's say, if you are put in an acting position while your boss is out and you're able to easily manage the duties and responsibilities while they're on a lengthy TDY and you're filling in. So that could be one way you can truly understand
Right.
what your boss does.
Yeah, try it out for a little bit. A detail, a rotation, to that next level to see if you would actually like doing it, if you could actually accomplish it. Sometimes if your boss is always asking you to do a lot of assignments that are really on their level to do, but they want you to do it, that's also, I think, a good indicator as well. Also, I think it's important to make sure that we're separating like supervisory responsibilities with actual, on the job
Yeah,
work
that'll be
experience.
another show.
Absolutely, because if the next level for you is supervisory, well, how do you know that you could actually excel as a supervisor without actually having the experience of being a supervisor? Yeah, it sounded like we got like the Price is Right here or something. Something buzzed to let us know a little bit
Or
about
one
that.
of those handshake pranking.
Exactly. Yeah, we have bells and whistles and everything going off here.
All sorts of stuff.
Okay, so what is the 4th strategy?
So the fourth one is
The force?
the
I
force
love that.
with this one is you see the bigger picture.
This is such a good one. Yeah. If you know how your role takes place within all of the other roles that are happening, and you're able to help orchestrate things, that is definitely a good indication. If you are so overwhelmed and occupied with what you have to do for your projects that you can't see what else is going on outside of that, or you haven't established the relationships with others to know what really is going on within the organization, that's a pretty good indicator that you may not be ready for that promotion. So understand the bigger picture. Also, if that's something that you don't know at this moment, well, that's a great opportunity for you to learn more about what's going on. Yeah, networking, details, rotations, attending some of the higher level meetings, perhaps even asking your supervisor or another person to say, I'm really interested in learning on the operations of the organization. I know my role, but I want to learn more about how what I do impacts others.
Right.
And then you can sit in on some of these other sessions that might be helpful
Right.
for
That
you.
helps you to learn, helps you to network. And it reminds me of a post I just saw the other day from our fellow public servant Love.
Yes, from the Fed Upward podcast.
Right. And she had a great post where it was, be the person that is other duties as assigned, or be that person.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, yeah, that's interesting, because it gives you the opportunity to expand your skills, meet with people, be kind of like the go-to person. You do want to be careful with that one too, right? So you're not overwhelmed with all other work that people are giving you. But the other duties as assigned is just a key indicator of there's so many things that an organization needs in the day-to-day work. And so it's important to, if your supervisor comes up to you and asks for your help with something, and you have the bandwidth and the ability to do it, it's always good to, be that person to step up and help.
Yeah, definitely, because that's where the opportunities lie. If you know others, if you're partnering with others, if you know your job so well, and again, what would take you 8 hours a couple of years ago, now you can only do in a couple of hours. Well, you have that extra bandwidth. That's how you're able to be able to do other duties as assigned and help support others. And that's just more of a demonstration that you're ready for that ascension for the promotion to the next grade level.
Right. And even if like you've outgrown your current role and you do find that you're kind of sitting there like, oh, well, I already finished that task. I don't really have anything else to do. I've kind of exhausted everything else that I could do, clean out my email, all of that stuff. Then you ask people, hey, do you have something I can help you with?
Right.
That's always a good way to help others and show that you have initiative, collaboration, and that, again, you're willing to help and learn something new.
And those people that you're helping and learning from, those are the same voices that are going to champion you getting that promotion. So they could say, oh, totally, I know that Karen works really well with me. She'd had an opportunity to do all of this great stuff. We wouldn't be able to do it without her. Definitely, I would recommend that she's ready for the next grade level up. So that's how you get it. It's not just that you're qualified, but that you have enough people that are willing to support you and be a champion for you. Because really also when you're applying for these jobs, they're going to ask around, hey, what do you know about this person? How is it that Karen does her job? And when they say good things about you, absolutely, that definitely helps.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the next one? Are we on the fifth one already?
We're on the final one.
Can you believe that? That was fast.
The Fifth Element.
The Fifth Element. That was a cool movie.
So the fifth one is you can work well with others.
Big deal.
Does not play well with others.
Does not play well with others. Yeah. I mean, however you're evolving in your career, you always are going to have to work well with others. I mean, if you're working on certain isolated projects, well, you're only going to be able to do that type of work over and over and over again. It may be a different type of a project or a different activity. Like if it's data analysis, you can just do another type of a data analysis project.
I think I've seen that. So collaboration, right? I think I've seen this one jam people up to move up many, many times.
Yep.
This is one of the main ones that you see people have not really learned to excel at, and not any fault of, to them, fault of them.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, not really something that they didn't do right, but they just haven't learned to work with others. Many times.
Or they think they don't need it.
Right. They're like, I can do this. I can handle this. I'll do it. It'll take too long to show somebody else. I'll just do it. And then you miss out on that collaboration and teaching others to do something. And that's where you can see potential issues.
Exactly. So those are 5 clues that you could be ready for a promotion. Really think them through, honestly, to see if you've had that exposure with all of them. So the next part really for us to talk about is our questions from the GovGeekdom. You can come out to thegovgeeks.com and click on the Contact Us page to submit a question, or find us on social media as well and ask the question. So I think we only have one question this week, Karen. So what is our question for the week?
The question is, what does the job outlook look like?
Yeah, exactly. So I think this was like just, forecasting what's going on in 2021, the rest of the year, and then in the future. What do the job outlooks look like for government? And I think there's some ups and downs in this one, certainly. I do know that the workplace prior to the pandemic is not going to be generally what we're going to look to expect going forward, both in public service as well as outside of public service as well. But there's a lot of growth opportunities that really could present themselves as a result of that. Of course, just because we're in a pandemic doesn't mean that hiring has stopped. There's still a lot of stuff that's going on.
Well, and a lot of, like you mentioned, public workspaces are being a little bit more innovative.
Yep.
I saw an article about the Air Force.
Yes.
Adjusting how their workplace is functioning and how it looks in light of everything and remote work. So I think kudos to the Air Force for really taking that on.
Yeah, embracing it. So the outlook is that there's still opportunities there, but the environment may be shifting a little bit more. But we don't quite have that crystal ball to figure everything out. But if we were going to place a wager, things are going to look different than how they had previously. Well, Karen, I'm curious, what is your closing thought on this whole concept about whether or not an individual should know if they're ready for a promotion?
I would think when you know. And if you trust in yourself and in your abilities to move on to the next level, go for it. Definitely talk with people, engage with people to learn more about what that next level looks like, to make sure that just because what you think it will be may not be accurate, so that you can prepare yourself.
That's awesome. Yes, definitely be prepared. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate your service and your time that you spent here with us. From Karen and myself here at the Geeks, thank you so much for your service, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.